Why the hell is almost no one talking about the vinyl chloride spillage at Ohio? I mean, I went to CNN and it's the first story on the main page. I can't speak for other countries, but in the US at least pretty much all national news covered the derailment at the time, and while it's not front page news now, I'm seeing updates in the last 24 hours. From what I've seen, the worst appears to have been averted, and while there will doubtless be a serious impact, it should be localized and not as catastrophic as had been feared. As for the arrest, it was one reporter who got arrested after some kind of scuffle with police at a press conference. There's certainly questions about if it was justified, handled appropriately. I'm guessing no, but wasn't widespread or anywhere near a cover-up. I guess the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, USA Today, CNN and the Washington Post all don't count? And that's just what came up at the top of a Google search. It's been all over the news here in Ohio for the last week. Has the news outside the US not covered it? It's not the entirety of the posts I see on Reddit. Literally no one is talking about this localized incident. Quote, maybe you should be responsible and actually look up news instead of expecting it to be spoon-fed to you through social media and memes. Whenever someone stupidly asks, why is no one talking about this? Quote, it just shows that they are incapable or unwilling to actually be a goddamn adult and actually research what's going on. Arresting reporters for trying to talk about it? Or arresting reporters for something else such as trespass or violating media injunctions and it's being spun as that? Just curious what the arrests are for, because you can't just be randomly arrested. There has to be a breach of one or more specific laws. Or reasonable suspicion of. I follow a wildlife rescue account on Instagram. The person who runs the account posted photos and screenshots from a friend of theirs who has a wildlife rescue less than a mile from the crash. They weren't allowed to get their animals immediately following the accident. The photos they shared of one of the animals since then shows a swollen face. Some of the other animals, foxes I believe, have died since the crash. Just imagine how harmful those burning chemicals are for all living things in the area. CNN has the entire ordeal televised live. I don't know why people are or are not talking about it, but here's a bit of info on what the EPA has been doing to remediate since you're concerned about the consequences. A controlled burn of the remaining vinyl chloride in the cars, damming a river downstream of the contamination to prevent spread, vacuum truck and sorbent pads to remove visible contamination in the area, aeration pumps in contaminated areas to promote evaporation, air monitoring in the surrounding area. No reporters have been arrested for covering the story. Probably because the accident was caused by newly slack safety rules that Trump government put in place and Biden won't repeal. The move allowed freight trains to use cheaper, older cars with antique braking and safety systems. I'm sure nobody got kickbacks. Nothing to see here. Here in Italy, the news in these past days have been mostly about the Turkey and Syria earthquake. I would guess it's probably the same for a lot of other countries, but I'm sure they will eventually cover it too. I live in India and I heard about it. I think people are definitely talking about it. I've been constantly hearing about it on the news ever since it happened. Or is your position that I should approach a random person at McDonald's and start up a conversation about the train derailment in Ohio? 'Cause it's Ohio skull. Republicans under Trump gutted the Environmental Protection Agency. Weird what happens when watchdog agencies lose their teeth. Sounds like local news. Because then someone will say, only in Ohio skull. In fairness, Fox News website has no mention of it that I can find.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.